Hello, 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 and welcome to the Out of the Closet podcast. I am your host, Andrew Pettke. We are a fun, gay, and informative lifestyle show, and we are broadcasting literally out of my husband and I's closet. No, seriously, I'm inside of a closet right now, coming to you live. From laughs to interviews to games with special guests to fashion to community to all things LGBTQAI plus and gay friendly, to highlighting special organizations doing amazing things in their community, to information and opinions. This show is full of amazing information, big laughs, and over-the-top fun, and I'm so happy you're here joining us. Thank you so much. You know, you can always follow any of our social media channels. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Just go to podcast OOTC. Also, if you want to take a look inside this amazing closet, you can see what I'm wearing right now. You can see all the different outfits I'll be changing into for the various segments. And you can always check out our YouTube channel. That's right. We're also a vodcast, baby, which means you can watch us online. You can see everything that is going on right here in this closet. I know that's a lot of information to swallow, but just go to outoftheclosetpodcast.com anytime and you can find out all the places we broadcast at. That's outoftheclosetpodcast.com. All right, guys, on the show, we have an incredible guest that is going to help you with your plastic problem. That's right. We are going to learn how to break our addiction to plastics for a cleaner, gayer world from owner and founder of plasticrehab.com, KARINE PETIT. We'll learn a ton of new information you've never heard about plastics and how they're affecting our oceans, our foods, our bodies, and of course, our entire planet. She's going to give us pointers on things we can do right now to help Mother Nature. And she'll tell you about ways your employers can get involved too, even book a presentation at your own office. And then we'll play a game called Waste Not, Want Not, where we'll get her take on some funny things and whether she'd not waste or not want each thing. Then, gays in sports. And that's right, as the world grows more progressive, more and more humans are comfortable coming out and being their proud selves, identifying as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning. But even in this day and age, even today, there is still homophobia in sports, as you can imagine, especially in professional sports. But are things changing? Are things getting better? We'll discuss athletes that are making big impacts in sports and others that are paving the way for future generations of LGBTQAI plus players. From youth sports to minor leagues to the pros, sports are getting gayer. But is it fast enough? We're here, we're queer, let's win everything and drink beer, or a martini, or a non-alcoholic carbonated flavored soda water with a hint of natural citrus flavor of your choice. Whatever you want, go sports! All right, and then next I'm gonna tell you all about the LGBT Center of Los Angeles. Founded all the way back in 1969, the LGBT Center of Los Angeles offers healthcare and social services, housing and leadership and advocacy. They are an unstoppable force in the fight against bigotry and the struggle to build a better world for LGBTQAI plus persons in the huge Los Angeles area and beyond. And we'll wrap the show with this week's gay history lesson about Harvey Milk, the first openly gay elected official in the history of California, winner of the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009 from President Barack Obama, and how his politics changed San Francisco, the whole country, and our entire gay world. So keep listening and or watching. We're going to have a fantastic and fabulous time on this podcast. In fact, I hope you really get involved. I'd love to hear from you. Ideas for the show, anything you'd like to hear, just shoot me an email anytime. That's Andrew at Out of the Closet Podcast. And please subscribe and follow our social media channels by searching for Podcast OOTC. Okay, did you guys hear about this stupid stadium full of people that attended this week's Major League Baseball game as the Texas Rangers hosted their annual season opener? Yes, a freaking stadium full of people all crammed in together during a pandemic. It was a sellout. Get your hot dogs, get your cold beer, get your deadly contagious virus. I mean, good Lord. I mean, I hear the stadium is giving fans souvenir ventilators for the first 1,000 victims that enter the gates. Yeah. In fact, the 7th inning stretch will be replaced with a 7th inning stretcher that will actively take COVID fans directly to the ICU. This will definitely go on record as the most screwballs in a major league stadium. What the F? Also in the news, a West Virginian man was recently sentenced for trying to help his wife fake her own death. Yeah, he was trying to help her avoid prison time from healthcare fraud that she committed. He told the authorities she had fallen from an overlook near a river when in fact she was just hiding out in her own home. I mean, that's got to be like the laziest attempt to fake your own death, right? I mean, she's like, I got to get up from the couch, write my own obituary. Lazy ass, stupid people are all around us. So be careful out there, guys. Be careful. All right. And speaking of stupid people, a couple in South Korea is in deep trouble after they vandalized artwork valued at nearly $500,000. The couple, seen on security footage from the art gallery, show the couple painting on top of a huge wall-sized abstract graffiti art by adding their own splashed and swashes of paint. The couple says that they didn't know what they were doing was wrong. They claimed that they thought it was participatory art. Police said, no problem. We're placing you under participatory arrest and letting you participate in our prison program. Okay, did you guys see the deer that crashed through the front windshield of that school bus? It was crazy. All right, a damn deer just jumped right in front of a school bus traveling down a highway, busted through the front windshield, seemingly unscathed, and landed in the front seat next to a student until the driver was able to safely pull over, open the door, and let the wild animal escape. When asked about the trauma of the event, the deer said to the local news reporter that he was just so sick and tired of the deer in headlights stereotype, and that in the combination with cocaine use just set him off that particular day. Police says this is the deer's 5th arrest. And authorities say a former federal official has admitted she abused her authority in a publicity stunt that tricked New York City public housing residents into sounding supportive of former President Donald Trump and his, well, now failed, re-election campaign. The video was aired at the Republican National Convention, and interviews were re-edited to paint Trump in a favorable way. She's been fined and barred from government work. News media knew something was up when the video seemingly made it out to seem like Trump was the most physically fit president in presidential history, had big hands, and doesn't like Russian hooker pee. Something didn't add up right. They knew. All right, let's get started with the show. All right, guys, today on the show, I'm so excited to introduce you all to a wonderful, strong female that is going to help you with your plastic problems and break you free of your addictions to plastics. Live from her own home in Santa Monica, California. And on the show for the very first time ever, it's KARINE PETIT. Woo! KARINE is the owner and founder of PlasticRehab.com. And I'm excited about all the new information we're going to learn today, okay? This is going to be all new information you've never heard before. From plastic packaging to one-time use products, plastic have become something that all of us use on a regular daily basis, and oftentimes without thought of the long-term ramifications and environmental impacts that these have once they're tossed. Guilt trip, but you'll be surprised to know maybe not all recycling is what it's cracked up to be, and some companies are misleading you with some misleading messaging. All right, but have no fear. It's not all doom and gloom for us here on the earth. There are some simple ways, small changes that we can start doing today that will have large impacts down the road. Please welcome to the show our PlasticRehab.com queen, KARINE PETIT. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, hey, I want to get into things real quick. First of all, we'll get into PlasticRehab.com and how you came to develop that. But could you give everyone at home just a little bit of your background, how you grew up, what got you onto this trail of eventually recycling and all that fun stuff?
Okay, well, I first started with, being 2 in my mom's uterus.
You started at 2?
I have an evil twin. And so I think that really makes me a people person here because I just love being around people. And I'm French Canadian, and I had pretty much a perfect childhood, I would say. I grew up right on the lake, kayaking, swimming, just perfect, great childhood. I mean, my twin sister's a psychologist, so she would say my parents were not perfect, but it was good enough for me, that's for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So you grew up around a ton of nature, I'm guessing, and the outdoors. So is that what kind of triggered your love for Mother Nature?
You know what? It must be part of it, but I don't think that's what it is. I'm
Oh.
someone who is all about being fair and justice. And I haven't really realized that until like maybe 5 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm always like defending people at work. I would get in trouble with I got fired at one point because I was defending some lame waitress who didn't even care, and I got fired for. So it's all about like, hey, if something doesn't seem fair, it just provokes me, and I just have to do something about it.
Well, thank you for fighting the good fight, by the way.
Thank you. You're
Well,
welcome.
so this need to feel like you were doing the right thing, did this happen? You said in like the last 5 years or so. So has this been something that's kind of new?
Well, sort of, yeah, for the environment. What I've realized is like beauty is super important to me, not like necessarily physical beauty, but like I need to live in a beautiful environment. Therefore, I live in Santa Monica. I stop at Every Roses. I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. If I am not in a good environment, I think, you know, what that creates is people tend to not have a good well-being experience, right? No one wants to live in a polluted, ugly environment. So part of it was that is like seeing people sitting there idling and knowing that that's polluting, seeing trash in the street, and just getting sick of it. And slowly the plastic thing took off, you know? So I paid attention to that more and more.
You know, I grew up in Texas, and so there literally is a state motto, don't mess with Texas. And that's a whole trash initiative to keep people from, you know, disposing stuff on the highways. And so it was ingrained in me at an early age that, you know, the environment was important, you know, and I was a Boy Scout, so we were taught that. But I got to tell you, I think, you know, a lot of people sometimes with some conservative views on recycling sometimes make fun of it almost. And it's kind of a weird thing. When you were growing up French Canadian, because that's a lot different than American, how was it growing up? How did it feel in your household? Was recycling talked about, or was that something that was like foreign? Or
hey, in the 90s, you know, in school, that's where they started to teach us, right? So we showed up at home. My twin sister, my oldest sister were like, Mom, we need to wash this and put it in a recycling bin. And my dad would take it to the garage and then just put it in the trash at one point. And we're like, and then we discovered, but like it started like everybody else. But I think it's, for me, the recycling thing is more like the overall values that I have as a person. My mom is a really proud person. She would never go to the grocery store in her pajamas. So like, I remember like I was trying to help her one day and she was like, no, I'm doing this. I started it. I'm going to finish it. So it's sort of like this thing where like, okay, when you do something, you do it right. So like, yeah, if this is good for the environment, I'm going to do it, you know, and I'm going to put the effort into it.
Well, you know, it's crazy because I feel like there are so many messages out there about recycling and doing the right thing. And sometimes you do feel guilty because you feel like you're doing the right thing all the time. And you find out that, you know, little steps you're making maybe aren't as impactful as you think. But what I'm surprised by is a lot of people don't realize, you know, how much things can't be recycled. And so that's something that's kind of you've brought to my attention, which I think is amazing. We're going to talk about here in just a second. I also want to talk about your website that you started, plasticriehab.com. And I want to talk in the next segment about some of the things, you know, some of the do's and don'ts, some of the things we don't know about plastic that you're going to tell us about. And then, you know, just different things that we can do to kind of set ourselves up for success. And so that, you know, Mother Nature, you know, we have less impact. All right, we'll be right back after these quick messages. Stay tuned. Woo!
Hi, I'm Ty Burgess, founder and CEO of One CBD, and I'm here to talk to you about bringing some balance back into your life, because everyone knows we can all use a little balance right now, and we have a special offer for Out of the Closet listeners today. To learn more, visit us at onecbd.com. That's ONECBD.com, and use discount code OUT for 50% off your first order. I'm so confident that you'll love adding One CBD to your routine that if you aren't completely satisfied, we'll refund your entire order. No questions asked. OneCBD.com. Take our free quiz to see which product is right for you. That's ONECBD.com. outoftheclosetpodcast.com.
Hello to all my Out of the Closet podcast family. I don't want to beg and I don't want to come off as needy, but the Out of the Closet podcast only exists because of listeners like you, and I really need your support. Any financial support you can do would be amazing and greatly appreciated. Whether it's $5, an ongoing monthly contribution, or if you just want to hand over your total inheritance and put me in the will, that's fine too. Anyway, it's really easy to do. Just go to outoftheclosetpodcast.com and click the support tab. Thank you so much for supporting the Out of the Closet podcast.